I used to eat instant ramen, but not boil them or do anything like pour hot water or something. I just ate them out of the pack because you could do that. There was like an option to do that. Maybe it's like a different kind of material because I probably can't do that with instant ramen I'm eating right now. Anyways, welcome everybody to the purposes of the pail.
We didn't synchronize.
What? No, shit. Never mind. All right. 3, 2, 1. Oh, God. Well, I ruined the cold opening. Let's go steamy hot into this bitch. The thing is, we named this podcast after Disco Elysium, obviously, because we both really love that game. And the Pale, like, we don't actually know what the Pale is. It's just like a big lore thing in the game, and we thought it sounded cool. But I feel like we have now different interpretations of the Pale. For me, it's because I'm surrounded by white people. Help me. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. And for you, I'm so good at fucking transitioning. Okay, so... never mind, I ruined it. I hyped myself up and now I don't want to do it anymore. Basically, you have the option to move into a bunch of Pale as in with your colonizers, especially.
Yeah, Pale. I have the option to venture into the Pale.
Right, and get your soul drained and become like a zombie or be locked in your past memories. I think that's what the Pale does.
Yeah. I guess the portrait of the Pale driver is probably one of the best portraits in the game, so
right,
it's fine.
Yeah, that character is basically just you keep talking to her and she just laments about some singer that was like 50 years ago was popular. Mm. So that's kind of what I got is that you kind of get stuck in the past because the game is kind of about being stuck in the past in a lot of ways, ideologically, stuff like that. But yeah, so basically, you might... is this interesting to people to talk for a bunch of fucking seniors in high school to talk about graduating and going to university?
It's about as interesting as anything school related can get.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So sadly, the thing is, I'm going to graduate in a year exactly. 12 months from now. That's insane.
Sheesh.
I'm trying to get out of the country for university.
He's a wanted vigilante, that's why.
Indeed. I went to a career counselor because I fucking hate those things, career counseling. But, you're going to have to do it because it's not very easy to, know things about going abroad and, knowing the requirements and eligibilities and shit. So it's nice to have someone who knows all that shit and does that for a living to guide you.
Right.
Although they can be scams as well. There are loads of scams out there. Fortunately, this one is not a scam. We didn't have to pay her because she was someone who knows someone who we knew.
Oh, wait. So it's not like a thing where the school provided you a career counselor. No. You had to go yourself?
My school does provide me... there is a career cell in my school. I've never went there. One of the teachers in charge is my applied maths teacher, and she's insufferable. I don't want to go there. So,
okay.
But yeah, I did go, and she told me to try the United Kingdom. Which is, first off, as you said, as I said yesterday. Just a second, I'll be right back.
Okay. Is everything okay over there?
Yeah, it's okay. We'll talk about that later.
What? Okay.
Shit.
What?
It's very hot, and so we decided to get another AC. So, installing an AC requires you to drill holes into the house.
Oh, God. Is it going to be in the audio? Is it going to pick up?
Hopefully. Shit. Probably.
To continue our previous bit, can you just shout colonizers really loudly into the microphone?
No, okay. As I was saying, as I said yesterday,
no, just say colonizers. Just say that one word, and I'm going to cut it in. Okay. Everything's going to make sense.
Colonizers.
Okay, I'm not gonna cut any of that.
So colonizers, so UK as my country's colonizers. I may have to go there, maybe. Although I am also looking at another university. It's the Central European University in Vienna, which seems to be much more affordable, as well as I guess kind of better. Maybe, I don't know. It's much more affordable to live better, as in better in faculty, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, for the price, that is. Obviously, going to Cambridge is probably better than CEU, but, you know.
I don't want to mention too much of mine because I don't think it's very interesting, but I'm going to the Netherlands where we're going to sink in 50 years. And I'm gonna be there when it sinks. I'm going to go to a media studies degree because thankfully, so my counselor is just in my school because she comes here every like 4 months or so to give people opportunity to talk to her about shit. And she was like, I don't want to say maybe progressive, I guess, but like she was very much like, you know, you should pick the ones the stuff you like. You should pick the stuff that's interesting because we don't know what the future holds, and AI seems to be changing so much about how the job market even works. So just go with what you're interested in, and let's start from there. So you know that's a good place to start rather than you should become doctor, engineer. That's the only jobs to exist, right?
Yeah.
And she did tell me, oh, this media studies thing sounds interesting. I'm basically just going there to enrich my knowledge about stuff that might be relevant for this YouTube thing. But as I said, I didn't say in the podcast or anything, but I have realized that I'm very bad at thinking ahead. I really just have to take things step by step, or else I get super anxious and I just start fucking spiraling down. So yeah, I don't want to think about like the future too much, but the immediate future.
I think I also related with that because like, I don't get anxious, but whenever I think too ahead, it just becomes an abstract blur. So,
right. And also, it just intuitively makes sense that when you get there, you'll know what to do, or at least you feel like you have like a direction, or like you can act on how you feel instead of like predicting how you'll feel by then, which is just fucking stupid. It's not gonna work, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. So I'm going to a media studies university in Netherlands, the University of Amsterdam. It's like the best media studies program there is. Hopefully I'll get in, but maybe not, and I'll pick something else. But also in the Netherlands, because that's the country. Just our family has been like, you got to go there, man. We're not sending you to America.
Is it taught in English?
Yes, the programs are in English. Obviously,
nice.
You know, people there speak Dutch and also English. It's very popularized over there. But yeah. Okay, enough about fucking life shit. Media, escape from reality. Okay, so let's talk about something that's really... this is kind of one of my points I want to make about this piece of media. Is that it's so far off from reality that I sometimes have no idea what it's actually trying to say. Poor Things. Right. It's a movie about... I'll spoil it. But I would suggest going to this movie blind. Just be aware. Maybe don't watch it with the girl you like because there's a lot of like sex scenes. But yeah, just that content warning, and also sometimes pretty graphic blood stuff. There's also that. But yeah,
I guess.
Please go into it blind. Bro, there's a fucking scene where he...
I remember.
Right. Where she was going into Mr. Willem Dafoe's lab, and she was just like stabbing on some guy's eyes. Yeah, that was horrible. Anyways,
I've seen worse though.
You probably have, you fucking sicko. We're gonna go into spoilers a lot for Poor Things, and I do recommend watching it blind because I'm a spoiler baby, and also it's a good movie. I think Gray also would say the same.
I mean, yeah, I think surprisingly, I also agree that this time you should probably go in blind because I did so, and I think that fact made me appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's a movie that really kind of gets more interesting as you think about it, because especially when you're going to blind, because I have no idea where it's going. Like I don't know any of the things that it was trying to say. So I was just on this ride, and then it took so long to process it, but it's in like in a nice way of like thinking about it and contextualizing it in an interesting way. So yeah, recommend movie. I give it a recommend out of 10.
Indeed, me too.
Yeah. Anyways, so a movie. What do you want to say about it, first of all? Because you watched it second.
Well, yeah, it's a very okay. Let's start with like the director, because I knew the director before going in, so I had like a little bit of an expectation, which it was kind of subverted, but also kind of not. In that I've watched his other stuff, mainly like his I've watched his two quite popular ones, one not so quite popular and one very not popular one, and all of them have one thing in common, and that's that it feels like they're very weird, obvious,
Mhm.
like very obvious with like his I guess I don't know, filmography, I guess. And then another thing is that they're quite nihilistic, I guess.
Oh.
Because okay, so there's like this one film called Dogtooth. You've probably heard of it because we talked about it, I think.
Right, and it's a good song by Tyler, the Creator. Look up Dogtooth.
Ah, fuck you. So Dogtooth is like a film where a family, like a very rich family, of the parents and like three kids. They're all like old, like teenagers or maybe even like young adults. We don't know, but they're like living an insanely sheltered life where they don't know. So like the family, the parents have taught their children the meanings of like. So if we show them, if we say the word telephone, they think we're talking about a cat. Or if we say the word, if we say the word, I don't know, movie, they think we're talking about a pen or something, because they're completely shut off from the outside world. And like it's like a weird film, and like there's like incest in it.
Okay. Sheltered life. I mean, you have like one person you can. Okay, I'm not gonna go. Okay.
yeah, exactly. And then it's like a really fucking weird movie all together. And it's also quite nihilistic, along with The Favorite and like Lobster and Killing of a Sacred Deer, all of which have like really pessimistic things to say about the human condition, if not But this one isn't like that at all. This one is... No, it is. It really isn't. Okay,
so?
We'll talk about it. Okay, so like... This one is... obviously, it looks quite warm. Like some of the sets, I think Lisbon, like the first chapter, it looks fucking incredible. I mean, all of them look incredible. Alexandria, I think the name is.
Yeah, and
also looks insane.
I like how they take like cities that are actually existing in real life, and they just like fucking spice that up with bullshit. That looks nothing like the actual city. It looks nothing like Lisbon, but it's just called Lisbon for some reason.
It's like a dollhouse, but like not in. It's actually very much like Barbie, but like in a good way, non-plastic way.
Yeah. Okay. So this is my one sentence thesis. This movie is like Barbie, but good. Like actually, I'm going to argue that.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought the same thing when I watched it. So it's a very good good one-liner to depict, like encapsulate the whole thing. It's also very feminist.
What about let's go back to the optimism part, because I don't know. There's some optimism in the movie, yes, and it does end up in a good place, kind of, pretty much. But it does have a lot of things to say about how people are pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Yes, but like optimism does not lie in like saying that everything is good. It just lies in that even if everything is bad, we can do something about it. And I think this film is very much like that, and not okay. So there's you remember the character, the guy she meets in the ship.
I
the
forgot
guy
the name.
and
Alex, not Alex. It was some weirdly specific, no, some weirdly generic name like Stefan or something.
So something like that. Yeah. So she meets him, and he tells her he's like he's a cynic. He's a pessimist, right? It's like very obvious. So they're like reading philosophy or something, and she and like the older woman are like arguing, and not arguing, but like they're discussing how life can be better. And he's like, philosophy is stupid. You can't make your life better from philosophy. Life is suffering and pain, and then you die. And then he shows her the real world, which is a lot of dead babies, and she's distraught by it. But then after that, there's like the scene where like, instead of like breaking her optimism, her like childish wonder, it's like she recognizes that really it's only him. Like he is the one like running and like shielding himself from the world through his cynicism. It's like that one shot in the Chainsaw Man opening. That the shot that's supposed to mimic the meme where like Shinji, no, not Shinji, fuck, that's a different anime. Denji and Power are like sitting on the ground, they're looking at a wall, and then Aki is on top of books, and he's looking at the grim reality. But in it's also not the reality, because Makima is standing on top of bodies or something, and she's looking at the real reality, which is...
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that?
I remember that shot, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, where the guy is basically... Fuck, this drilling is terrible. So the guy is basically just Aki, in that he's very cynical, but he's not really seeing the truth.
I think you're forgetting the scene where after Bella Baxter, the main character, sees the suffering children, she steals the guy, I forgot his name, Mark Ruffalo.
Duncan something, yeah.
Duncan Redderpants.
Something like that, yeah.
She steals all of Duncan's money and says, please, I need to give these to the children. And then the ship people pocket it for themselves.
Yeah. But that's... okay, that is true. But I don't think like that's the thesis of the film, in a way. Because by the end... okay, fuck. Just a second.
He's gonna stop the drilling, guys.
Yeah, hello, yeah.
So what's the drilling situation? It's still going?
Yeah, it's still going. It's
okay.
Fucking stupid. It's back. I mean, you can still hear it. It's like it's just one video. We'll have it. It's the war. It's the Revolutionary War taking place in the background.
I mean, I don't think it's a thesis of the movie to be like, you know, I guess, I don't think it's a thesis of the movie that, you know, humanity is fucked up or whatever. I think this movie does have a positive message by the end, but I doubt it's very optimistic. I feel like it's pretty much just like realistic. Like, I don't think it's optimistic.
No, I think it's actually very much optimistic and like almost anti-realistic, because this guy, he explicitly states realism is the way, if you remember correctly.
Well, that's one guy's, I don't know, interpretation of it. And I feel like he's saying it's real to kind of shield from his cynicism. Because, like, fucking, you ask a depressed person, why are you depressed? Well, it's just the reality that I'm a worthless piece of shit. Like, I feel like it's just that kind of logic he's going off of and not actually, like, being realistic. I remember this is probably, like, a scene way later into the movie where Bella Baxter goes back to her old life, basically, with her old husband. And then I think, maybe it's because... Oh, never mind. Okay, there's some line I remember about like her saying, even though I can't do anything about it, I'm gonna try my best to make most of the situation I have on hand or something.
Yeah.
I remember that kind of line, and it just be like, well, compared to maybe like Barbie, I feel like this is more realistic, and it doesn't really shy away from
I mean, that's
all of that.
True, very much. I'm also like talking like in reference to his older works, Lanthimos' older works, which are very much pessimistic, like very much, because like by the end of Lobster, it's like, is there true love? Like, can two people really actually genuinely love each other and like trust each other and shit?
I just know Senjo Gahara will never betray me.
And by the end of Dogtooth, it's like, I think, okay, I don't want to spoil Dogtooth as well. It's very much pessimistic though. Although like one of them, okay, I won't spoil it. And then by the end of Sacred Deer, Killing of a Sacred Deer, it's just a continuation of the cycle of violence, basically, dumbing it down as much as I can in order to not spoil.
Okay,
so
well, I can see where you're
compared
coming from.
Compared to all of that, this one is very much a sure, not an optimistic one, but still, make the best of what you have, kind of thing.
Right. I agree.
and,
I
like,
agree.
Yeah, and like not try to wallow in your own misery type of thing, which I think is a very good thing, especially coming from such a person as Lanthimos, who I thought is like a little like a Coen Brothers misanthrope type of guy. So yeah, and then there's also fuck, never mind. I lost that train of thought.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting perspective because you've seen his other movies. You can compare and see his like evolution or maybe a different aspect of his creativity. I just think
I'm a film bro.
Okay. But going back a bit to the beginning of the movie and just how it starts, the first thing that really, I mean, we can probably talk about this all day, but the style of this movie is fucking immaculate throughout all of it. Like, not just the parts where you see Lisbon, except it's not Lisbon. It's like everything's so distorted, and the clouds in this movie. I am what I call a cloud fucker. I would fuck a cloud if I could. I really like clouds. Like, it's my favorite thing. Like natural appearance ever, next to like fog, and I just love it. And the way it's depicted is like, goddamn, I want to just munch on that.
Yeah, that was what I was talking about with like Lisbon. I distinctly remember that part. The clouds from that part was incredible. I also like the clouds during the ship part.
Right. Yes. The clouds. They're like obviously different colors. Yellow clouds, blue clouds, and I don't think they were like supposed to be storm clouds, but like the way the color contrast, it just feels like everything's so oppressive, but also so colorful at the same time. It was amazing.
Yeah. I think what I was about to say is like the main thing is like like the main character. Okay, spoilers obviously. So the main character is like a child in the head, right? At least for like a big majority of the film, she is, and like a big part of the movie is I don't know, childhood discovery basically.
Right. And told in a very unconventional and interesting way.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, obviously, she's not like a child. She's a child or like a baby in the body of a woman.
The lore is that the woman committed suicide while she was pregnant. So the guy, Mr. Willem Dafoe, is he just called God or does he have a name? I forgot.
His Godwin Baxter.
Okay, yeah. Godwin Baxter takes the baby's brain, puts it in the woman's brain. So that was both the mother and the father.
I remember the scene,
right?
I remember the scene where he says, "I did the thing that was the most obvious. I took."
Yeah. This movie is also really funny if it wants to.
Yeah, indeed. I was about to say as well.
Remember that line where she was like, in the ball, it's like, I'm going to punch that baby because it was annoying.
Yeah, I remember that one. It's actually, very, very much funny. A funny man, funny movie.
Funny movie.
So the thing with childhood discovery is like a big theme in this. At least I thought so. Because, again, I mean, obviously there's sexual discovery, obviously. And like each part it's split into parts. It's split in like Lisbon and the ship, and then Alexandria, and then Paris, and I don't remember the rest.
And then back in London.
Yeah, London. So each like part, and then also like the first part is black and white,
right?
Because he's a fucking pretentious fuck. Anyways, so each part is very much both visually and like I guess not narratively, but like thematically, I guess different. Not like insanely different, but
I think you're having
each part is like
No, it's just like you don't have to divide a theme of a movie that's supposed to be like a progression, right? It's just like her Bella in different aspects, in different stages of her like discovery.
Indeed, discovery, indeed, and like the movie leads you through her discovery process, which I find very fresh.
Right, start visually as well, not just narratively, right? But we start off with the black and white, which is pretentious, but also it makes sense, right? Like she lives in this monotone world, and I think when they get out to that one time when she's still like pretty much the movie has a line called "What a lovely retard" or something. So I'm gonna say she was mentally retarded.
Yeah.
So So that one scene where they go out to the woods or something. I think that's colored, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm pretty
basically
sure.
the monotone colors are supposed to represent the monotony of God's house and all of what's happening there and stuff. And then it goes to Lisbon where like just like the colors all fucking off the charts, and then we go to the ship, which like I'm pretty sure the subtext of like Bella isn't happy being there because she jumped off the water and she has like trauma or something because even though the brain's different, the body still feels it. I don't know. It's a movie magic. And then they go to Paris, which is like completely different color palette as well. There's it's
very cold and white.
Right. God, the Paris part is probably my favorite because I just love
I
snow.
think it probably mine too.
Right. And then we go back to the London part, obviously, with now the full colors.
In Paris, she becomes a socialist.
Yes, and a sex worker.
Yeah.
Yes, but
I think that part I have a little bit of like a couple of gripes with that part. We'll talk about it. Yeah, you can continue.
We can talk about it now, right? Like we don't have any fucking structure to this.
Yeah, so there's this line in the movie where she and her co-worker,
right?
They're prostitutes, and they're going to a socialist committee, something, and
right.
They're approached by Mr. Duncan, who's played by Mark Ruffalo. It's probably my favorite Mark Ruffalo role, probably because he plays it wonderfully. I think funny man,
amazing role.
Yeah, indeed.
Duncan is great.
So he approaches her and like he calls her a whore, and they bicker and argue, and then she says, "We are our own means of production." Which it's a badass line, but it's wrong. So and I think in being like quite in being like I wouldn't say feminist, but progressive, I think they kind of mixed in something that they I guess were a little too careless about, which is Marxist stance on like socialist stance, I guess, because she's supposed to like represent socialism at that point at least, of prostitution and sex work.
Okay, there's a lot of layers, but first of all, just like explain why it's like wrong for her to say that.
It's wrong because it's wrong because it's wrong because she is not her own means of production, because prostitution only occurs in a class society, and in a class society, the means of production does not belong to, because if you in like a classless society, there would be no sex work, because at that point you'd just be having sex with the different people, because at that point there would be no work.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But her like means of production, that's simply wrong, because first off, like prostitution is probably like the biggest, or like the most extreme form of alienation in work,
right.
And Marxists usually, I mean, there are two camps of Marxists, like obviously, like all things ever. One who say that prostitution is like, what do you say? We shouldn't support prostitution as much. I mean, obviously, we shouldn't, advocate to criminalize it. That's not what we should do. We should, help sex workers. We should listen to them and all that. But like sex work as like an ideological, it's a concept. It's not something that should exist, and it should probably like wither away with the system, which the system is still here, so it hasn't gone away. But I mean, as long as it does exist, we have to support them. But we should not condone sex work as it is.
Okay.
And I think this movie does so, and I think
it
that's
condones
not quite,
sex work.
Not condones sex work, but I think it does. I think it's a portrayal confuses. This is very complicated. My brain. Okay, it kind of confuses empowerment with. Okay, I've seen comments like on Reddit. That's mostly what I'm referring to. Which I probably should stop because my next video also refers to a comment in Reddit.
Redditor research.
Yes. I've seen people on the internet, I guess, interpret that part as like not condoning, but like, what do you call it? Fuck, empowering sex work? No, encouraging sex work. I guess
that's okay. Encouraging is even worse. Okay, so I'm gonna stop you right there. So
yeah.
First of all, there's literally a scene in the movie where after Bella's like having been working at this job for like a while now, and she like literally just says to I think her coworker or maybe the brothel managers like, I can't feel anything anymore. I feel like the thing you're talking about, alienation. She felt so alienated from this act that she used to enjoy, or like, because in the scenes like she was trying to be like, okay, let's talk, because she has no idea what this is about. She thought this was just gonna be like similar to Duncan. It was like, okay, we're gonna have a passionate session of furious jumping, as she describes it, while we talk about stuff and we express love. When no, she's just kind of being used as an object there. And how to say? I don't want to dumb it down. Really, there's a lot to dig in there, obviously. But how I saw it was that the sex work, it did get to her at a certain point where like there are aspects to it that she didn't understand, and the aspects to it that are not good. Especially the just the way the brothel
I definitely
manager,
agree with that.
Yeah, especially
that part
how
isn't. Yeah, go ahead.
No, especially how the brothel manager talks about these women that she's basically coercing into the sex work. She's like, once you have to cherish your beauty, man, because if you don't, then you're gonna be old and you don't even, you can't even have people sleep. It's some fucking weird bullshit about like lookism. And it was just like, these people are not good people. And you can argue that Bella, she isn't. This is kind of the part that confused me, especially, is like she doesn't seem to be really fighting against it. But I think maybe the reason is that Bella. I mean, the reason she got into this business is not because I don't care anymore. I'm gonna sell my soul. She just wants money and she wants sex, so she just did it. Like for her, sex has never been a thing where like to shy away from. So that's why like when people call her like a whore, she's like, okay, well, is that an insult?
Yeah.
You like furious jumping, right? Everybody likes furious jumping. So like, what's wrong with you? So like, I think that's the stance she was taking. So she didn't think it was necessarily like bad, as like society would condone it. But I also don't think she was like, yes, I love being a prostitute. I don't think that's the point.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. But I think that part is just softly pronounced enough for people to misunderstand, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interpretations of the movie. Going back to the socialist point, I see like a few video essays that I saw were like, oh my god, this movie's so epic and based in poggers because it says she goes to a socialist meeting. It's like, dude, come on, you're not engaging it with any level besides just the surface coatings of like socialism or whatever. And it's the same thing that happened with Barbie in a lot of ways. Which is unfortunate.
Definitely, yeah.
But I just don't think the text itself is as vapid as Barbie.
Yeah.
God, that was interesting, but I don't know where we can. So
I mean, also like the ending part, also very cool. I think.
Right.
Probably the most. Fuck. I can't talk.
Okay, I'm gonna go on a bit more about like what I want to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think that was interesting. Hopefully people found it interesting. I thought it was interesting talking about these. That's probably the most controversial part of this movie for a lot of people. Like the people I was watching it with, they were like, besides the part where she was a sex worker, I like I like the pretty colors. Like I'm dismissing them. They have like their own interpretations of like how does it. It's like well, okay, well. You can't expect people to all, get the message or whatever.
All be based and genius like myself, yes.
No, I don't want to say that. That sounds horrible. Anyways, what I was talking about at the beginning of this discussion is me not really getting like the full extent I could have when I was experiencing the movie itself, because it felt so far-reaching from reality. Because like when she was talking about like, Oh god, okay, never mind. I just bumped my microphone. Nothing happened. She was being exposed to concepts like poverty, like how like disparity and all of these things. I was like, wow, this is interesting to see a person crumble under, but this is not interesting at all because it's very surface level. Because she's a baby and she understands it in a really surface level way. And I just felt like a lot of this movie is just that. It's just kind of her stumbling into bad people and just kind of going around and sometimes learning about stuff, but mostly just coasting around. And I felt like that I didn't get a message. Basically, I didn't get what the movie was trying to go for. Besides, and I think this is a thing we can give Yorgos Lanthimos for all of his movies. His ideas are fucking wild. His ideas are just like starting for I for like the majority of this movie. Even after I watched it, I thought, okay, this is a guy who has a genius idea and is just genius enough to know how to execute it. Like I feel like every part of this could crumble, but he just puts the pieces in place so that okay, it stays engaging. But when you actually try to parse out the meaning, for me, it gets a bit difficult. Until I, after thinking about it more, I started to appreciate how weird this angle is and how that itself is valuable. Like the angle Bella approaches the world, even though it's not the most you would say in depth most of the time. I think a lot of the other aspects of the movie kind of complement that in a good way.
Yeah.
Also, William Dafoe. I keep calling him Willem Dafoe. I know he has a name in the movie, but I just love that he doesn't have a what is it, like digestion system anymore. He has to plug into a machine.
The bubbles, yeah.
Yeah, he has to gorg out these like bubbles with these horrific sounds.
It sounds like the sample from the JPEG Mafia song. The real gamer.
The real gamer. As I call it, the real ninja.
Indeed. Another thing which the plot itself is very much a very good examination of
big boy words we're using here.
I use that word, yeah. Examination of like how I think there's a part where Duncan, I think Bella's starting to use bigger words. She's starting to converse in normal sentences,
right?
And he's like, why aren't you like babbling like a baby anymore? That was cute. So like the societal expectation of women acting like children because it makes them more attractive. It's a very It's kind of a complicated subject, but I like that part a lot.
I think,
especially during the first part where she's very much a baby, right? And like in the head. So that part was insane. Yeah. Not insane.
I think there's like a through line of her both being the subject of voyeurism and also her like acknowledging that and trying to move forward towards it, because obviously like she has some awareness of like I am like attractive or like I am like desired in some way, but also I have no idea what's going on. I don't know why they like it. I guess like the reason why she goes on this adventure is because it seems relatively more interesting than like staying here, and so she has no idea why these people want her, I feel like. I don't know, maybe that's a simple way to say it. Basically, I think there's a juxtaposition, big boy words again, between the themes of like voyeurism from society to women, attractive young women, and her own self-discovery journey, which I thought was very interesting. And I don't think we see like a little bit of that in Barbie, but really not a lot. Yeah, can we go into the Barbie manifesto now about how Barbie is fake and bad and cringe?
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I have we probably talked about this in one of the many unreleased episodes. Did we? No, we didn't.
I think didn't we talk about it on this podcast?
I don't think we did. I don't remember anymore. But okay, you probably have more things to say. When I first watched it, Barbie, because I watched it with my sister who was crying the whole time because it was like, oh my god, Barbie. And I was like, I guess this is fine for people who don't know what feminism is. Like if you just want a general like idea of it, but I think even that is irresponsible because it's just showing a yapper. Like the movie is just about yapping your way to success, and not even like success. It's just like yapping your way to matriarchy, basically. I was like, what the fuck?
I think there's like a scene in the movie where they're like, what do we do about it? We just talk about it.
Right, it's like we have to bring women to be aware, and then they'll wake up to the truth. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I think it's Olivia Sun, Ali Sunvia, the stupid fucking name. Video essays. She made a video a while ago about like how feminism is not sympathetic to like prison reform, or like basically she links that point to like
carceral
talking.
feminism.
Right. And then she links that point back to people who are like feminists, but they kind of say, oh, why are the feminists, why are the women in this third world country not realizing they're being oppressed? Where like there's so many other factors to that, and like not recognizing that is just fucking stupid, and it feels like super white as
Yeah,
fuck.
exactly.
Right. Okay, but even besides that, there's one point I want to bring up.
Or like white and like middle class.
That's right. There are shout out to my homeless people in the streets. I love you all.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to my working class comrades.
Exactly. And there's this one thing that really like pissed me off, and I was ranting about this to my sister, who was just completely like she didn't register any of it. I was talking about how the whole through line of the movie. I don't care about spoiling about Barbie. I'm gonna spoil it. So the through line of this movie is that Barbie, she realizes, oh, real world is bad and patriarchy. No, I don't like Gen Z people don't like me. No, and she goes back to try to fix it. And then Will Ferrell, the people who are having the Barbie leading the Barbie corporation are like, we have to keep her in the box. The box. What's the box? And basically they chase around Barbie, and there's a whole movie chase scene, and then eventually the movie ends, except like they fuck off somewhere and they don't appear for like 40 minutes while Barbie solves all the problems by yapping to people and having this weird fucking scene where like she was like, ladies, how do we manipulate men? We gaslight them and then we get them to fight each other. This is for like wine moms or like Karens on Facebook. It's so fucking stupid. So yeah, she solves all the problems, and then Will Ferrell's like, Barbie, but come here. We need more Barbie. We need we need to sell our products because we're filthy capitalists. And they're like, okay. And then maybe somebody else, or like maybe one of his subordinates say, sir, actually, because I think there's some like fucking lore about how the Barbies in the Barbie world, their mood reflects the toys in the actual like real world. So like the weird Barbie is
the
weird.
other way around, I think.
Yeah, right. It's like is it the other way around?
Whatever the people do to the real world toys happens to the people.
That's right. And she was so there's this supposed to be a pretty big confrontation, I assume, because it's between the main villains of the movie. Or Ken, I guess he's also a villain. But between Barbie and the main villains, and then the subordinates resolve the problem by saying, "Sir, look, the Prussian Barbie is selling really well. Look, like homeless, like some like pop sensationalized mental illness Barbie, or some problem. There's like I'm so quirky, I have autism, that kind of thing, right? You see on TikTok." Like, oh, those kinds of Barbies are selling really well, so I guess you don't have to be perfect anymore. Be mentally ill. We'll get more money that way. And it's like, and then they just fuck off. And the movie ends. I was like, what? What are you talking about? No way, this is the actual message they want to leave to the woman. What the?
Yeah, it's like the one video that I saw from it by Verily Bitchy.
Amazing channel name.
Yeah. She calls it plastic feminism, which is right on the head.
Okay, do you have anything to say, or did I just rant off all the points?
I mean, yeah, I don't really have much to say except that it's very shallow. That's pretty much my problem with it. Right. It's incredibly shallow to a point where it's like a 3 hour long ad for Mattel and Barbie toys.
Is that 3 hours?
No, 2.5. I think. Okay. 2.5. I mean, thankfully, but then again, it give us Ken.
I'm just Ken. I do think like. Okay, I don't want to say this might be a bias, but I do think Ken in some points is an interesting character. In some points,
yeah.
Just like how Barbie is also some points interesting. I just don't like how it's just compared to Poor Things, which is also like aesthetic aside, it's also much about feminism, discovering yourself. Yeah. It just makes it so much more in depth and like interesting to watch. So I don't know. Poor Things is just Barbie but good. That's my conclusion.
Yeah, I agree. I think Duncan is a better Ken than Ken.
He's like Ken if Ken stayed in the real world for 40
exactly.
years, right?
Yeah.
Which I mean,
I can actually see people like idolizing him
Duncan?
in a weird way.
Really?
Yeah,
He's
actually,
a fucking...
yeah.
Huh. I wonder. I don't
I mean,
know.
obviously he's like a loser, but like in a serious way.
Okay, maybe people will be like, oh, he's my Hindo, or that kind of thing. But he's
Yeah,
like,
kinda, yeah.
he openly admits to abusing women, so I don't think girls are gonna be like, oh my gosh, he's so dreamy. Or maybe they will. I don't know
not
what they're
girls,
into.
but mostly they're just dudes.
Dudes idolizing Duncan.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I don't know anymore. Do women thirst after like Ken? I have no idea. I know like
I
two
think
people
it's
who actually
mostly just dudes.
yeah, that's the whole thing about like the interesting aspect of the manosphere thing. Or like if you look at people who are interested in the muscly men kind of chat figures,
Yeah,
mostly
they're just dudes.
gay men.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Oh yeah, Poor Things. Another character or like actress, like Emma Stone's acting was insane.
Yes, I mean
Yeah.
she pulled off being a beautiful retard, and then into a very
or
good
like
character.
I guess helpless, not helpless, but yeah, or like perceived helpless woman. Very well.
Right.
Ooh, actually, it's kind of weird because there's like a weird connection between Barbie and Poor Things, like
What?
an actual connection, which
What's
is
the actual
both Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone acted in La La Land. They're the main.
Oh
main,
right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My sister has been going on about La La Land for so long. She was like,
Nah,
oh my
La La
God.
Land is insane. It's
You like
very
it?
good. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's about like struggling artists or something, right? So
Yeah, it's about yeah, I guess it is true. Struggling artists and like love and shit.
yeah, I'll watch it because I like Damien Chazelle. I like Whiplash quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think recently he did Babylon starring Margot Robbie, right?
Well,
I
yeah,
need to watch
Margot
that.
Robbie. Yeah.
I need to watch that. I have no idea.
Robbie, fuck.
Margot Robbie. All right. We squeezed like 40 minutes of discussion out of Poor Things. I'd say that's pretty
Indeed.
lucrative in terms of podcasting. We have other things to talk about though. Do we want to talk about our videos? I made one.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it because I have Premiere Pro running in the background.
Damn. Are you editing while we're talking?
I wish I was.
I wish I could multitask like that.
Yeah, I
But
wish
yeah.
I had two brains.
Two
like
brains.
in Durarara.
Wait, what?
Not
They have
Durarara.
two
Fuck.
brains to do that?
No, Dora. No. Fuck, I'm forgetting. Shit. What's it? There's two. Doro Hedoro. That's all.
Doro Hedoro. Oh, okay. I didn't know they have two brains. It's a lizard
like
man.
devils
manga.
have.
Okay.
No, devils have two brains.
Damn. One brain.
One brain in the
one brain
in the
is for
stomach
etching.
and
One brain is for gooning. Okay.
okay, that's your Durarara. Fuck.
That's what I do.
Dora.
That's the sound I always make when I'm gooning. All right.
Like an engine revving.
So about
Internet
videos.
is cancer. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, I made a video. It's called Anime Cover Art Tier List. I made something finally.
Yes.
It's very. I'm impressed with myself that I could do anything anymore.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun. I don't want to say
It was
anything
a-
about it. What about you?
I'll say about it. It's a good video. I think it was a pretty fun video. Fun is a very good word to describe it.
Yeah.
A laid back talking about anime cover art. Very very fun. I liked it.
Yeah, I think I think there's too much to say if I actually try to go into it, and not a lot of it is just gonna be about just me bitching about shit. So I'm gonna stop right now. More videos coming in the way soon. Future video. Let's get a taster. One is gonna be called gooning something related to gooning. Look forward to it. Another one is gonna be called not called. I'll just say it's about Duvet, the song, the opening of Zero Experiments Lane, and also the anime itself. Now I do.
I'm really looking forward to that video because like I know I have a classmate who doesn't know anything about anime, but they frequently use that song in their Instagram stories.
And sometimes I do wonder if there's enough to say, and a lot of it is gonna be more like just my feels, and not a lot of it is gonna be like research. But I do think there's something to be said about just because obviously so the video is gonna be about why did duet get so popular, what it means,
Yeah.
you know, in the context of the series. And the cold answer is, well, the algorithm decided one day, so why not? But I feel like there's something interesting about a show that's about connectivity. It's about identity online. It's also about a lot of weird shit. I'm like 3 episodes in. I don't understand fuck all, but so yeah.
I mean, you know, first watch you don't understand shit.
Yeah.
I've only watched it twice though, so I.
Yeah, and it's just so interesting that a show about those topics are kind of reinterpreted in a way that's basically there's this lane aesthetic online. You might have seen it, you might have not. Like it's basically this kind of like 90s analog.
Oh yeah, like
usually like a what?
It's the background of what do you call those things? The poles with the
right.
The fuck.
The
power
lines,
urban
the power lines.
Yeah, power lines. Yes.
Yeah. It's not even just the infrastructure or the power lines, but sometimes it's just like I see a lot of it. Maybe it's just because I'm on the weird side of TikTok or something, but I see like people, dressing up as Lane or like, just portraying this kind of lifestyle. Not just cosplaying, but like, portraying this kind of mood where it's like, I'm such a neat, I'm such a hiki, I'm such a like, I live on the internet, that kind of thing. Or like, in previous incarnations, there have been characters like that one girl from fucking Watamote. Do you know? Oh, you don't know it. It's some anime about like a shut-in neat, and everybody's like just like me for real, for real. Yeah, basically Lane is one of those characters that like make you go just like me for real, for real, for real. For some people on the internet, at least from the areas I've seen, and a lot of it is also people kind of being like, I wish Lane would marry me because she seems like she doesn't
what the
hate.
Fuck?
No, it's just like the thing about like if they want to, how do I say this without sounding offensive? So people who are like losers themselves, they would like idolize a girl who's also a loser because they can they can feel like, I can reach to her level basically, and she's not like a normie or something, like she would get me basically.
But she becomes okay.
Yeah, like I don't know, she
she
does some like weird shit later, so I'm looking forward to the weird shit. And I just feel like there's a lot of that. And I saw a video and this it broke my brain a bit. I'm sure the person who made it was, good intention. It's a video called Lane Sings You Duvet. And it's a video where she dresses up as, cosplays as Lane, and she sings through this really poor quality, like some kind of camcorder microphone that sounds like it's from the 90s. And she was nice. Okay, she could play the guitar. It was nice. But I saw the comments like, oh, you portrayed the aesthetic so well, bro. You and I don't know. It just felt like it's kind of a lot of it just rubs me in the wrong way, and I don't know how to explain it. And hopefully, I might be able to in the video. I just feel like there's so much about like the image of Lane is so much greater than like what actually Lane is about, and the image it kind of extends to the song as well. So maybe there's something to be said there. What about you?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah. So, what do you say?
What about your stuff?
Yeah, I'm working on a video right now. I'm like 9 minutes in. It's closer to 30 minutes, so I don't know when it's getting over. I need to get it over during the weekends, which is today and tomorrow, because my school is starting on Monday. For fuck's sake,
no.
It's gonna be hell. But yeah, it's a video on gurren lagoon. It's a video about dialectics, I guess. I don't know.
You've described it to me as a glorified summary of gurren lagoon.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because it's I think I do add something to it, not a lot, because there's like the big shapes video, which does a lot of work.
Yeah,
I can't possibly do anything about it, like not do anything. I can't possibly match that amount of stuff, but I think it does add something to it. It's like a narrative analysis, but not in the way that you analyze stuff.
Okay.
It's like your method is more content focused. Mine is more form focused.
Yeah. That's the whole.
If that makes, or like at least this video.
Right. That's the whole thing we've discovered while like talking. Like we have so many dialects within our dynamic, like how we approach things.
Yeah. And also like in our editing styles, yours is
right.
very polished, professional.
Yeah,
ordered.
I just love polishing
Mine is
a
just
piece of
amateur.
turd. I love polishing a piece of turd. Like that's what I do. What did you say?
I like burning things down. I am
yes. I'm here to kill chaos. I'm that Final Fantasy 7 Final Fantasy 1 Stranger Paradise.
Chaos.
I'm chaos. I'm here to kill chaos.
It's from the donkey video. I love that
right.
one.
Oh god, Donkey's the goat. Donkey's the goat. I want to like have a segment where I recommend YouTube channels like every week because I do want to spread positivity and not just talk shit anymore. Okay, but before that, you know how like so there was a time where I couldn't read English too well, but I didn't know Gurren Lagann was one of the first anime I ever like knew about. Because it was popular around the time I got into One Piece.
You've still not finished it, have you?
I know everything about it. I have not watched it. It's just like I've consumed so much information about it just as a kid. So it's kind of hard. I'll watch it one day. And I used to call it Gurren Lagoon. And lagoon is a word, right? It's a valley, but it just sounds.
Now it sounds like.
It sounds like what French people do over
lagoon.
there. Lagoon, lagoon. God damn it! Internet killed us. Killed comedy. Everything's like this now. All right.
Yeah, but technically, you used to call it before the word existed, so
right.
it's your fault.
I'm a progenitor of lagoon. I just remember this right now. All right. Speaking of lagoon, wait, no, not gooning. Video games.
Yeah.
Video games. This is kind of interesting because legit, I think the last podcast we recorded was like in the beginning of February, so a whole month later.
Yeah. You did play a whole thing.
I played a whole
this
thing.
This time an actual video game.
Right.
Not fucking book.
I am still right now. I'm playing a book, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah. It is called AI the Somnium. I'm not gonna go into it. It's not good. Like.
Oh, okay. Wasn't there an anime about of that?
No, it's
or is
AI.
It AI Invasion?
No, that's id Invasion. AI the Somnium Files is by the same people who did Zero Escape, 999, and Zero. I'll go into the whole dump about it.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
But okay, just want to say conceptually, I'll explain it to you, and you realize how fucking stupid this is. So, it's a sequel, as in it takes place in the timeline after the original game. But the geniuses at Spike Chunsoft said, but people might not know how to read, and if we said it's not AI the Somnium Files 2, instead we gave it a cool subtitle because we're edgy like that, people might not realize it's not the first game, so they might play this one first. So we're gonna retcon fucking everything that happened in the first game to put it in this game. It was like, what? Why? In the first game, like the identity of the main character gets revealed because like visual novels love to do that. Like they love to change the perspective, like change the meta of like where you're playing. So they did that for the first game, and it was cool. It was fun, and they just fucking retconned it for this game. And I was like, okay, how is this gonna work? And then I hear later they're gonna like. They're gonna do some like wacky timeline shit, but like, it just pissed me off from the concept. It's just like it's not caring about your long-time consumers at all, which is just so stupid. But anyways, real game I played that cares a little bit more about the consumers. Persona 3 Reload. Holy shit. Holy shit.
It's probably like consumed your February.
It did for the majority of it. I was supposed to be preparing for exams, and instead I played this fucking game. Where I prepared exams in virtual life instead of a real life.
Of course, yes.
So yeah, to explain a bit for anybody who doesn't know, Persona, starting from Persona 3, 4, 5, is a series that combines life sim and RPG, where you dedicate some times in the day, like 2 time slots in a day to do some activities, and then you go into dungeon crawling, blah blah blah. But Persona 3 is where it started, and if you like say it objectively, yes, it's a lot clunkier than Persona 4 and especially Persona 5 in terms of how it plays. There's a lot of weird things where like nothing happens for like. So the problem with pacing your story out into a calendar is that you lose all drama because something could really important happen in one day, and the next day the same exact music plays while you enter the first room. Like it's just like because it's on a schedule, everything feels like it's kind of contained in a day, and it's just like unlike Persona 5, which could, they knew how to utilize it in a more clever way, where like they could skip days or like to signify how important that event is. A lot of it is not here in Persona 3, and the story lacks because of that. But that's me being objective. Subjectively, this is the best game I've ever fucking played. Well, not really. It's a game that really hit me in the place where I needed it to. And it made me reflect a lot on just relationships and shit. Like friendships and also... Yeah, just friendships now. I'm not going to. I'm not going to go into it. And a lot of it is just... see, the weird thing about... okay, how did I do this? So I went into this game wishing it would be wish fulfillment, where I would just like do escapism, make friends, be cool, date hot anime babes, and then I actually played the game. And even though it's so clunky, it's like it's a social simulator from 2006 that's weird and has one social link where so the social link story is the teacher wants to teachers in an online game. The teacher meets you in an online game, but obviously anonymously, and she confesses to you that she wants to fuck a student, and that student is you. But she's not. She doesn't know that she's talking to you. And then the social link ends with her saying, "Oh no, the RPG is shutting down. The MMO is shutting down. Shutting down, shutting down, shutting down." And I'm gonna send our chat logs where I admitted to being a pedophile to see how much people like the game. And then the story ends with you confronting her, and she goes, "I'm a pedophile" or something. It like a lot of stupid shit like that. But I saw glimpses that reminded me of real life, and it just felt kind of surreal. Like,
damn.
Especially some parts where like something I really related to, where some parts I just like, oh god, that one dialogue really hit, and it's countless to count. But the major thing is that, so this is the complaint by Persona fans in the Persona community or whatever, that Persona 3 social links are bad because they're not like as story rich. Like if you go on a Persona 5 social link, you start off in playing chess in a church, and then you go stop a conspiracy by the end. Like it's that kind of like a lot of shit happening, and it's exciting, it's fun, it gives a lot of time to get really invested in the characters, and it's cool. But these characters, like, they just have entire slots where nothing happens, but you hang out with them and they say one like kind of important line to you, and then next rank there's 10 ranks, and they're obviously trying to stretch it. But in that way, it gave me more realism, because fucking you're not gonna talk about important shit to your friends all the time. You're not gonna hang out with your friends 10 times and just nothing happens. Like a lot of times, it's about those small moments that kind of peek out in a sea of just hanging out and talking like normal people. And that's just the thing that Persona 3 captures way better than I expected it to be. Even though it's like objectively kind of a story flaw, I could really get into that part of the game. And also, one other thing about the game that I'm gonna mention. Okay, side tangent. Combat good. The game looks very stylish. I will eat the UI alive. But about the escapism part of it, yes, Persona has always been about escapism. You've played Persona 4, and that game is basically like everybody wants to suck your dick. Everybody wants to suck your dick. Like, you're like some special chosen the fool. Every boy in the class is like, wow, he's so cool. Every girl wants to fuck you. So there's that like aspect of the game, and it's also very much probably even more there, just because you Narukami from Persona 4 is supposed to be like, oh, I'm a nice looking kind of chap, but this guy's like, oh, I'm edgy. I listen to my MP3 player all the time. So it's just like, it feels worse when he is described to be like the most perfect person of all time. And there is a part of that I don't like escapism, especially when I can't relate to what the fuck this guy is talking about. But in that strange way, I found myself actually connecting. How do you say? So, because I'm in such a position of like privilege, because I kind of am, because I'm the only one who knows I'm in the video game, right? Like that's just like kind of a meta knowledge that you go into every game knowing. And I saw social links that I could uplift with my ultra like special anime powers, and I got invested. There's this one student from France who was really interested in Japan. His name's like some long French name, but like people call him Bebe. and he's the transfer student who never really got assimilated into the culture, and he feels isolated because his hobbies are not the most conventional. It's like, oh god, you're talking to me right now. Oh my god, and I just felt so happy that my stupid anime boy character could help him through his journey. And then like by the end, he goes back to France and they like exchange letters, and like I was fucking bawling. It's like, oh god, Bebe, you're killing me, like, and even though I couldn't, put myself into the shoes of this perfect anime boy, I found so much solace in helping people who I related to more with this perfect anime boy. That's one part of this Persona 3. I'm gonna make an action button review in 5 years.
Yeah, definitely do it. Yeah.
Fucking, there's a lot to talk about. I'm thinking I want to structure it in the same way as the game. I haven't.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, as in like 12 months or at least 10 months.
Okay.
And then like every month, every chapter is a different thing. I'm gonna have a whole chapter where I talk about Persona 3 as existential horror, because there's actually a lot there.
Ooh, that sounds like something I'd make. Nice.
Yeah, but probably not cite as many people. It's just gonna be me being like, wow, damn, that's horrible.
Yeah.
All right, enough about Persona 3. Chrono Trigger. Trigger warning.
Oh yes.
We're gonna talk about Chrono Trigger.
I got a new keyboard and mouse.
Oh right.
Not mouse. Keyboard and controller.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been gaming.
What have you been
Also,
gaming?
I can do the keyboard ASMR now.
Like, I can't. I don't think it picks up, but please make sure to clunk as hard as you can, so that you can pick up in the audio.
I'm pretty sure it picked up on my Audacity thing.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can just edit it.
Okay, I will put in stock keyboard sound effects.
Not just any stock. You have to. What do they call it? Thock.
What the fuck?
I've been like deep diving into like the mechanical keyboard space of the internet. It's like a whole thing. Yeah, you probably know it.
I do. I've watched this one guy. His name is like Purple or something, and he builds keyboards while like he talks to people and makes jokes. Forgot this one guy.
Glarsus?
Yes, Glarsus.
I also watch him. He's funny.
He's funny indeed. I didn't know keyboards could be funny, but he is a funny guy. Yes.
But yeah, I got a new keyboard. It's mechanical for the first time in my life, and I also got a controller for the first time in my life again. Cool. So Chrono Trigger, I finished it. It's a very fucking good game. It's a JRPG. And like I don't think there's
JRPGs. I would never play them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you would never let a month of your life be consumed by a JRPG ever. Totally.
That's cringe. I only play FIFA and Madden, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah, FIFA and Madden. They're like the biggest video games in my like.
As expected.
What do you call it? Yeah. My batch year, school year, or like school people. Anyways, it's a JRPG, and I don't think so. Like, obviously, I think it was supposed to be something similar to Final Fantasy while development, but then they decided to go another route and make it its own thing. I'm pretty sure, or like a spin-off or like a knockoff of Final Fantasy. This one is much more, or like much less goofy. Or much more goofy, sorry. Much less serious. Much more goofy. And like one of the characters is literally a frog.
Epic. I love my frog kings.
Yeah, he's a frog with the post-traumatic stress, basically.
Frog is going through it.
Very Indeed. It's a very fun game. Even its like combat system, which is, just navigating menus, is also very fun. It's like every time you like do a move, because the combat of Chrono Trigger, I'm not very fluent in like how common this was or how I guess generic this was. I don't think this was generic. I'm pretty sure it was a new thing when it came out. It's real time combat. It's not like RPGs or like turn-based RPGs. It is turn-based, but it's real time here.
I'm pretty sure like Secret of Mana and what is it? Mario RPG did that before, but yeah, it's it's around the same wave, so it's not like super derivative or something.
But I did hear that Chrono Trigger was like way ahead of his time or something like that. Not like conceptually, but like
Gameplay
what do you
wise.
call it? Yeah, mechanically. Even though it's like a turn-based RPG, each character feels like you're controlling a new thing. Like it just feels good. Like each character have their own distinct styles, which I really really dig. And like I love all the characters in there. And they're not like I don't know. They're not narratively or like literary masterpieces or anything like that. They're quite generic, or not that generic. Some of them are quite fresh, but they're not like that untraditional. But they're good. They're very very good. They're like, what do you call it? A very good. I can't make metaphors or allegories right now. But yeah, they're very good.
Okay, I'm gonna do it for you then. So let's say take a game that's kind of weird and bad but good. Let's take if Persona 3 Reload, it's a guy who has many tattoos, has nipple rings and nose rings. Chrono Trigger is just a naked hot guy who is just hot.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, sure. I was about to use food as an allegory, but I guess you used men.
You can't fuck food, unfortunately.
Chrono Trigger, very very good, cool. There's like one scene that like just stuck with me. I think it stuck with a lot of people. I think it's supposed to be like something that sticks with you, which is it's designed to be good. Where, okay, I'll spoil like a little. I'll spoil a side quest. You don't really need to do. Oh yeah, one thing is similar to one of my other really fucking big favorite of mine, Legend of Zelda. You can basically end the game whenever you like. You don't need to play like 16 hours. You can just do the tutorial, do a bit of the quests, and get all the party together. You just need like 3 people in your party to attempt to kill the last boss.
Oh, okay.
Which is the same thing with...
Did you specifically mean Breath of the Wild when you talk about...
Yeah, Breath of the Wild. Sorry. Breath of the Wild. Because I've also been playing it since I got my controller. And I've been referring it to as Zelda. But in Breath of the Wild, you can just get the paraglider and attempt to beat Ganon right then and there. You probably lose. The same thing here. But you can try and you have a chance. Although it's incredibly hard. Oh. So, it's very, very
open-ended in that sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is cool.
So there is like this. Okay, I'll just spoil a side quest in order to relay to you what I mean by comfortable. So there's this side quest where a woman is worried about. She has a big plot of land, and it's like the plot, the land is just shit, and it used to be forest there, but the land is shit because alien whatever, and so you have one character in your party who's a robot. His name is Robo.
Nice.
So Robo, because he's a robot, he can't die, so he volunteers to stay there and like plow the land and like look after the land for 400 years, basically.
Okay.
Because he can't die, and obviously you can just time travel 400 years and get him back to your party like that, because you have the game is about time travel. If you didn't know, Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
And you do that. And like there's a scene where you recuperate with Robo, and like everyone else is in the party. There's this hot girl. I guess I kind of like muscle women.
You're just like Ice Patch Wolf. L.
Okay, she's from 12 million BC, I think.
Okay.
Her name is Ayla.
Ayla.
Or Ayla. I think it's Ayla. not Isla. Isla means a fish in my language. Isla
Okay.
is fish. Anyways, Ayla, and then there's this Dark Lord Magus, and then there's Robo, then there's next door neighbor, childhood friend Luca, and then there's the princess Nadia, or like Marl, that's the name, and then there's Chrono, and there you're all sitting together in front of like a campfire, and obviously there's Frog, who's PTSD. Anyways, you're sitting in front of a campfire. You're like recuperating with Robo. He's talking about this big meaning of the journey they've been through, and it's very. I mean, I guess you can probably infer the comfort that I'm talking about when you experience this, right? You can just feel it. And yeah, I think the whole game itself, I think I felt like that because going into it, I was pretty sure it's going to be a comfortable thing that I would fondly remember for the rest of my life. And by the end, I was not proven wrong.
Nice. I think there's really a lot of value in these games where it just feels like, I mean, a lot of what I like about RPGs is just embodying that world, right? Exploring it and feeling like it's another home. And I feel like that game, you're just describing it, like how, a side quest can be this rich and interesting in that way. That's fucking sick. Yeah. I love RPGs. Very, very good. Very good.
Best thing to ever happen to humanity.
There's feet.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I agree. I'm going to cut that part
there's
out.
muscular women, but that's humanity, so
that makes sense.
Happen.
Right. Video games.
I've been playing Wolfenstein as well.
Oh, Wolfenstein, Nazi shooter game.
Yeah, killing Nazis, very fun.
Very fun. Nice. I want to get into more FPSs because the more I converse with real life people, I realized, wait, I haven't played CS:GO, I haven't played Valorant, pretty much ever.
No, we should play CS:GO next time on POTP.
I don't want to. The thing is, I don't want to. I want to play a good game like
Doom
Eternal.
I think I've tried one round of CS:GO and I've never touched it again.
Well, maybe it could be fun with more people. I mean, it's a popular game. People play it, so
yeah, very popular.
Yeah,
we should play Valorant. Oh my god, I fucking hate that game.
I think I used to play on my laptop, and now this PC. Every time I do it, it's just not like. It doesn't work because I need to install some other thing that's in another drive. I just don't care. Because I don't know. There's something weird. Fuck Valorant.
I've tried to get into that game 3 times, I think, and all 3 times I've never been able to. It's just
shit game.
It does not attract me at all.
Yeah.
It's just a very clunky game. Like I just don't like how it looks or how it plays or anything.
I mean, it's kind of similar to CS:GO how it plays, and
not really, because CS:GO is much more fluid.
Well, yeah, I think game feel, yeah, definitely. But I feel like the strategy is kind of the same, where you just kind of you poke out.
I mean, obviously, the strategy, yeah, it's true, because it's like an FPS death match
plus
team
thing. Planting bombs or whatever.
I've played hours and hours of Arsenal.
If somebody is above the age of 7, Arsenal is a game in Roblox. Okay, well, that just ruined your reputation over there.
Fuck you! You can go lagoon.
Lagoon. Hello, French Pierre. You hear the lagoon? I can't get over that. It just sounds like. All right. Do you know about this little game studio called Vanillaware?
Sounds like no, I don't.
It's not a hentai studio, but it's pretty close.
Okay.
So
okay,
it's a studio that made 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. You know that game, right?
Yeah,
but
I do know that.
Before that, they've made a lot of games, spamming different genres. There's RPGs, strategy games, and there's also 2D beat 'em up kind of games. And they're all, but there's the art direction is by the same guy who's basically the mastermind behind the studio. And I was looking into that because of this video I watched by a YouTuber called K-Bash. He's actually legit my favorite games essay YouTuber. Just because.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe I should say Action Button is like my favorite YouTuber of all time, which is still true. But in terms of like a YouTuber, as in like a guy who consistently produces content, does the normal YouTube grind, who goes through that process, I think K-Bash does the best videos in that kind of vein, mostly because the passion he goes about and the lack of cynicism and the fervent anti-cynicism in his videos about these games that are like so vanilla. There's a game called Dragon's Crown, and you can look up some screenshots. You'll be like, oh yeah, this guy likes boobs quite a bit, and he likes drawing women like really in a very in just one way.
Let me check.
Yeah, Dragon's Crown. There's a whole controversy about how it depicts women and all that shit.
Yeah, I see that.
Right. And he goes into that controversy with a lot of tact, and I just feel like he was covering these games and just making them sound so interesting. Unfortunately, they're all locked on some fucking console like Vita that I don't have, so fuck me. But yeah, this is the transition I want to go to. I want to recommend some YouTubers for you guys to watch. For you guys, I mean for Gray, because I don't know anyone watching this.
I am multiple.
Yes, you are all of them. So first of all, yeah, K-Bash, he did a long video series on Persona. You can watch the Persona 4 one. I think that one on its own is pretty good. And he also does a lot of different series that are kind of anime adjacent, but more towards geared towards a general gaming audience, like Xenoblade. He also did like Nier and all those games basically. And he goes about them in I think he has a like literature composition background, so he knows a bit about that. And he was like tying back this Vanillaware niche game studio to the art movement of like the 17th century of like it was like a movement about creating art for the sake of art instead of like for some value. I forgot how it's called. No, it's not like indulge. No, okay, I'll look it up. I'll put it on screen. Yeah, it was very interesting, and I recommend anybody to watch his videos. You could just pick between the fucking 10 billion, not a lot of videos he has. Yeah, okay. K-Bash. Shout out to the greatest channel of all time, Hive Mind. We're gonna be Hive Mind one day. Holy shit, they're still good. They've become they've become more and more unhinged as time goes on. You go back to 2 years ago, they were just talking about haha music, haha. They're afraid of like making too offensive jokes, and now just like completely off the deep end. We're like,
I'll go to Hive Mind when I'm like completely broken by debt and an alcoholic.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, Hive Mind is just fucking genius. Not genius. There's just really good dudes doing this shit for a long time because they know how to do it. I would. Okay, so. For anybody, also for Gray, I'll send you this video later. I'll recommend the video Guess the Genius Annotations too. So it's like since it's a long running TV show, not TV show, it's just a long running YouTube series. Every episode's kind of the same, so it's kind of hard to get into. But if you want one that's like the embodiment of what makes them great, go to Genius Annotations 2. That one has like just like 5% of that thing is them playing the game, and a lot of them is just like them shooting the shit in the funniest way possible. I love it. I love it. Also, shout out to Steven with the N in the end.
Oh,
yeah, he made that 3.5 hour long Hideaki Anno documentary, and recently he made a video about like Evangelion spin-offs. A lot of them I haven't heard about, and like okay, so you will understand probably. Like I'm principally against a lot of Evangelion spin-offs because the show is about not being such a otaku and touch grass. So you just kind of reinforcing that by making them not touch grass, by having dating simulators and shit. But he approached them in a way that's like charitable, and he said these things do give you a lot, like some perspective into why people are so invested in the series. Like Eva did have some slice of life elements in it in the beginning, and he calls it the endless summer arc, which is super cool. Like. So I'm just calling that, the endless summer arc, and just more characters hanging out, but in an accurate way. So like you can still get their dynamic, and everything still, it doesn't taint the original as much as I thought it would. Even though the one about the fucking dating, what's it called? Like some angel cultivation plan or some shit. That one is just fucking stupid. I don't like that one. And yeah, he's going through all of them, and all of them are to some degree interesting. And he talked about like like a Japanese exclusive reimagining of Ava, but as a stage show, and they were doing all of that. I was like, what the fuck? I've never heard of this shit, and it's interesting. So I recommend watching that video. Do you have any YouTubers you want to recommend?
I've mostly been watching the people I already know, and also like educational YouTube.
I mean, I haven't been watching
Antonio Wolf.
Antonio Wolf. Who's that?
Who's he's a pretty good Hegelian YouTuber. The one thing I did get into this month is fighting games.
Right. Guilty Gear special coming soon.
Or like it wouldn't it be out by the time we upload this one?
Yeah.
As people may be able to see by the time this is out, I'm a very good fighting gamer, and I totally destroyed Drowning Curious in Guilty Gear Strive. And if anyone has anything else, has anything to say against what I just said, and if anyone has evidence against it, they're all fake and AI generated.
All right.
So fuck you.
All right. You're late.
I am the greatest. I did the Daigo. I did the Daigo parry to. And I also did the footsies and like the whiffs.
It was actually very mind-blowing because he did the Daigo parry every time I tried to hit him.
Yeah.
Every time he nailed it. I don't know what happened, but he did it. Okay.
Yeah, I did the Daigo parry in Guilty Gear Strive.
Alright, enough fucking slander. Let's talk about music. Alright, I got music. I don't have music. I mean, I've been listening to music. Holy shit. By the way, you finally made a Rate Your Music account, but I only see 4 albums on there.
I haven't I haven't done anything with it. I'll do it one day.
Do you want to go through it right now, or like do you have any can you just not recall the albums you have listened to?
I don't really remember. I mean, I'll do it one day, and we'll do like a
whole thing
special
about it.
Yeah,
we could. But recently, I've been really getting into this album called Ants from Up There, Black Country, New Road.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. So one of my friends, shout out Ansis if he's watching this. He's not watching this. He's too busy getting yoked, as he would say.
Okay. What is that? Is that like a drug thing?
No, yoked is getting buff. He's a workout guy. Well, he used to be the fattest guy I knew, and now he's like super into the workout shit. Doesn't matter. He doesn't matter. He's not significant to my life.
Yep.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But he was obsessed with this album when it came out. He was like, this is the best album of all time. Like, and he's a guy who's super picky about music. He likes 3 artists: Kanye West, Black Country New Road, and Death Grips, and that's it. And so he was it was very impressive to me that like, oh, he got a new favorite so quickly. And I listened to it and it's like, okay, it's good. I didn't see much, that much value in it until it just clicked. Like, every song is so meticulously crafted, and the crescendos hits on snow globes, basketball shoes, the place where he inserted a blade, even Chaos Space Marine. It's on another level. Especially the craftsmanship on display is just fucking insane. Okay, so it's a combination of it's labeled as chamber pop, but I don't know what it means really. Chamber pop, folk, rock, jazz instruments, and it's like all of them together. And on top of it is Isaac Wood, fucking the goat.
His voice is insane.
His voice is like, I cannot replicate it because I'm a squeaky little bitch, but also because it's just...
His voice sounds like how Adam Driver looks.
Yes, exactly. And it's just... It feels like he's constantly just he's like having a breakdown on every song in the best way possible. I wish I could describe it more artfully, but yeah. Oh god, every song on there is just mind-blowing, really. Even the slower songs that I thought dragged the album down before, like Bread Song. Do you know that one?
Oh yeah,
there's like kind of kind of the same chord progression, but that one puts me in a trance, and especially Isaac's voice. And then there's the big bangers like Concord. Oh god, every part of that song is like, how did they think of something so good? And then there's also the lyrics, which are like some kind of like abstract poetry where you can kind of tell it's about like a lover who's on the other side of the planet or something, like, you know, like a long distance relationship. And it's also about fame. It's about like Isaac basically leaving the band, which he did after this album. It's a lot of weird things together, and a lot of them are like super surreal lyrics, and they hit a specific nerve that maybe you click with, maybe it just sounds like a bunch of nonsense to you, like, and you, my Concorde. Like, it doesn't mean that, I don't know what it means. Concorde is some, like, you know, commercial plane that hasn't been flown in like 50 years, but sure. But yeah, just there's so many moments on that album that break me. But if there's one, it has to be Snow Globes. Like, you know, obviously I think
I see that your activity, like, you've been listening to it a lot.
Well, yeah, you know, the place where he inserted the blade, great song, and probably the best like constructed there. Good Will Hunting, Concorde, Chaos Space Marine, all great songs. But Snow Globes, the breakdown there, God of Weather, Henry knows. Snow Globes don't shake on their own. It's cathartic. It's genius. I love it. 10 out of 10 album. Holy shit, it's so good.
Oh, okay. So like, I like the Smiths. If you didn't know.
Yes.
And like, the thing with the Smiths is that they're the only band that like the only artist that like I don't listen to like their albums. I just listen to their songs. And I usually have like a big period of just listening to one or like a group of songs. And after I'm kind of like getting a little tired of them, I pick up another song. And that's how I experienced the Smiths for some reason. And I've been listening to Big Mouth Strikes Again.
Oh, that one. I think that one's good. I also don't listen to his albums. Like, I think legit, even though I would say I like the Smiths, I've mostly just listened to There's a Light That Never Goes Out. And then sometimes, like, you know, just some other songs on the Queen is that, like, I've not listened to that album fully. Because like, some, you know, my friends have said that like the Smiths has like 5 songs in total, and they just kind of reuse them. Maybe that's uncharitable, but I feel like, yeah, a lot of them kind of hit the same vibe, and sometimes you just gravitate towards one that's like, oh,
I mean,
God.
They're very misanthropic, but yeah, I guess that is true.
Yeah, but There's a Light That Never Goes Out is angelic. It's one of my favorite songs, probably.
Yeah,
ever.
I mean, after that, I've picked up Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now.
Yes.
And then after that, Big Mouth Strikes Again. Very, very cool. Very good.
Yes. Okay, let me talk to you.
Oh, and also
What?
You introduced me to Kanye West.
All
so,
right. I showed you the College Dropout recently.
Yeah.
How you been
Because I
liking
really liked it.
Yay, West?
Really, really liked it.
Did you listen to the full thing?
Yeah, I did. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did.
What's your favorite song?
I liked most of it.
Most of it. What's your favorite song on there?
Yeah.
Do you remember any?
I liked. I think I liked most of the opening ones, as well as some of the middle ones, as well as the. Okay, I guess I like the whole thing. Favorite ones probably Spaceship.
Yes.
I really like Spaceship. I like All Falls Down. I like Through the Wire.
Yes. Did you know the story of that song? Well, he kind of says it in the lyrics as well, but like...
Yeah, he says it,
yeah. The lyrics, basically describe that he was in an accident, in a car accident, that had his, like, jaw wired shut, but he still had to, like, record a rap song, so he did it. And the first version of that, which is not on this album, it has him, like, muttering the sounds through, like, a shut jaw. Like, it's fucking sick as fuck. And that basically put it on the map, but he re-recorded a better sounding version for the album release, obviously. But yeah, the story is great, and the sample flip. The original song is called like "Through the Fire," and they somehow made it to make it sound like it said "through the wire." And it's like, God damn, through the wire. I can't sing it. It's very good. And I want to highlight one moment. Obviously, I think the College Dropout is a classic. I love the last song, "Last Call." It's not really a song. Like the first 3 minutes are a song. And the beat is still going, and then he just like starts talking about his life story, and he just talks about like, oh, how I moved here, from Chicago, blah, blah, blah. I started working for Jay-Z, and I think there's a moment where he got a deal or something, and then he goes to the toilet and calls his mom. He's like, Mom, we made it, and then the deal gets canceled, and there's like a bunch of shit, and then the final, he's basically talking about the story of this album. and how it got made. It's almost like he knew this album was incredible, and then he's like, well, I'm just talking my shit because I'm the GOAT. I made the best album there could be. It's like, oh god, that kind of like confidence is really endearing when you're not the biggest artist in the world. But maybe you're not right now. I don't care about his egoism that much anymore. But man, it just hits different on College Dropout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of rap legends, let's talk about Blade.
Yeah.
Blade. Can we talk about Blade?
Okay. I was about to say something else. Okay.
What are you gonna talk about? Miles?
You can talk. No, I was rap adjacent or like culture adjacent.
What were we talking about? What were you gonna talk about?
The movie that I watched yesterday.
Oh yes. We could. Okay, let me talk about Miles for 1 second.
No, Blade, right?
Yeah, Blade. Never mind. It's Blade.
Oh, they're basically the same thing. So
don't do this, okay? I'm going to kill people. So, Miles, he did have a concert recently, and it was wild. Like he had the song where like he goes like, my grandma just called me a fucking and the N word, and then he threw out the mic for the N word, and a lot of people said it. Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, for Blade, okay. I've been listening to this album called "The Fool" by The Blade, and the Blade, The Fool by The Blade.
The Blade.
Yes, and it's so good. Like I think it really embodies what Blade is about. Like it's this kind of like weird, intoxicated music that's also like angelic and like blissful in a way that's really gets you pumped up. Like you listen to the intro and like they kind of sound like goofy. Like they sound goofy, but he makes it work. And there's this one song I'm just gonna send it to you now, and you're gonna listen to it in the background while you talk about a good rap movie.
Okay.
Listen to the song "Trendy," and that song just listen to it, and then I'll tell you how I feel about it. I'll put this on. Okay, I'm gonna do a big snap. Okay, I think you get the idea. Right?
Yeah.
It sounds like he's singing a song for like 5-year-olds, but he's like it's 5-year-olds in 50 years in the future. That's the vibe I get off of this song. Like it's a really rudimentary melody. Da 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 da. It sounds like this guy was fed like mid 2000s pop music and just like spoon fed all of it, and he mishmashed into it some like weird combination.
Yeah, vomited.
Yeah, vomited out into some weird like combination of it, and it works. And obviously, I know it's like I try to show many people Blade and they don't get it because he's an acquired taste maybe, but
yeah, definitely.
But I just find his music so unique in all the stuff that I usually listen to. So I've been listening to a lot of The Fool. It's like a 9 out of 10 album. It's legit in like top 50 probably. It's so good. All right, can we talk about do the right thing though?
Yes.
I think I talked about it in the last video, so I'll just let you go for it.
Okay. I guess the first thing that really struck me would probably be that if Disco Elysium is made into a movie, it would be like Do the Right Thing. Or if Do the Right Thing is made into a video game, it would be like Disco Elysium. Because I think the vibe of it, not the vibe of it, but like the aspect where it's like, it's a small little place or like a little neighborhood with like different, different intersecting, but like not like, okay, there are like different
it's like
factions of like there's the what is it, the three old black people who like sit and bicker and like fight, and they're like, I'll do this one day, and the other one's like, no you won't, and the middle one is like he's always trying to cool both down, and there's the Samuel Jackson's radio,
and then there's
show,
radio
We Love,
and then there's Radio Raheem, and then there's like the
absolutely,
different groups,
and then there's the four groups of people, and it's not like they definitely do get their arcs, but it's not like they're all walking towards a predestined character endpoint,
right,
or
like
something like that. In a similar vein as Disco Elysium's characters, who are they have their arcs, but it's not like that kind of arcs. It's much more realistic.
Well, I think
in a good way.
I think I don't think I've seen Fate Zero, but this is the only thing I can think of right now. It's just that Fate Zero is a story where it's very deliberately the storylines coalesce together and they intertwine and they something comes out of it. Where I feel like in Disco Elysium and also in Do the Right Thing, it's more about creating a community, creating an environment, and creating characters that. They're not on an adventure. They're just living their lives, right? And through that, there's so much interesting things to be said. And maybe the reason why you don't really feel an arc and Do the Right Thing is because it's not like the things that the characters express are like, oh, I just have this revelation today. It's like a building up of tension that's been there the whole time, and that's why the movie ended how it did. And I thought that was genius.
And I think it's Do the Right Thing is like a proto. Shiva baby. Have you seen the? You've not.
No, I don't know what a Shiva baby is.
Shiva baby. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a pun. Sugar baby. The Shiva is like a Jewish baby something. I don't know. It's just, or like funeral. I'm not sure. It's a Jewish tradition something. So that film is a very tense film. Like you feel stressed out every single second of that film, and I think this film is like a proto version of that.
So, wait, I don't. Why is it a proto version of that? My brain skipped for a second.
Proto version of that because the tension is rising. Like every frame is incredibly warm. The climate is insanely hot. Everyone is sweating. Everyone is loud as fuck.
Yeah.
It's very stressful, but obviously in a good way.
Yeah, I think setting it in the space of one day as well, narrowing that time frame to be that very, very great choice. And I think we both really love what the movie had to say as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. I just think about maybe not. Let's not jump to it right now. What do you think about the other main characters, quote unquote, like Mookie?
I think he's supposed to be, well, not like an everyman sort of way. He just wants to make his money and move out.
Right.
But also you see his social consciousness when he obviously does what he does at the end.
Right.
I think that most characters they're very, you can tell they exist there. It's very believable that they exist where they are. I think he paints a really good portrait of a community that exists, that's that has its own internal, very much internal tensions and shit. And I think I don't think I've ever seen such a rich, jarring representation of community before like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's a lot of scenes that really stand out to me just from just the community aspect of it. I remember, oh god, I forgot Mr. Gus, his character's name. No, what's his character's name?
Bugging Out.
Yes, Bugging Out. He got his Jordans dirty by this white guy who's moving in, and they just keep piling onto him. It's oh god, that scene was fun. I also like the scene where I think the kids were spraying water around.
That scene was
into
insane.
The car. Yeah, and there's a lot of these things that are I think they're entertaining in a certain extent, but they're also obviously show the underlying tension and the threat of gentrification that's coming to this neighborhood.
Indeed, yeah.
And yeah, I feel all the characters are, it's, even though I think Spike Lee, he's obviously, if you know anything about him outside of this movie, he's very much pro black people. He's very much anti-police and anti these things, racism. But, the movie manages to portray in a way where I don't think a lot of the characters like I don't think Bugging Out is the most likable character to me. Like,
yeah, definitely not.
yeah, I just feel like he makes them real instead of making them goody two shoes because they're like in
Yeah,
a
like a
social group they
monolithic
represent.
black man kind of thing.
Right. Like Mookie is also kind of an asshole. How he treats his
absolutely.
kids, right? So like, there's always a duality to these characters, which are really good.
And also like
Okay.
I like the part where like the Koreans, right?
Right.
I don't know. I really liked how like by the end, they say they're black like you. I found
Yes.
I found
That
like I found pathos in that.
That fucking scene hits hard.
Yeah.
Especially as a guy, who's kind of in that environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of the Koreans, there's also that one scene where like they pretty much break the fourth wall and they see like a character's monologuing to
Oh
camera
yeah,
and saying
absolutely.
a bunch of really
that's
bad
that's
insults.
the one thing that everyone ever brings up in that movie.
Yeah, and also the Radio Rahim love and hate scene. Right?
Oh, yeah.
where he's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the
True.
rings together.
Yeah.
And it just makes so when like Mookie when he threw the trash can and he called out hate, it's like God damn it, God,
Yeah.
fuck it's a 10 out of not 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Indeed.
It's very good. I loved it.
Me too.
But,
you should.
about the-
Have you watched Lahain?
No, I haven't. But
Or
I heard
Lahain,
it's
I'm
really
not
good.
sure. Yeah, you should definitely. That like I've been in a mood of like rewatching Lahain.
I have watched
because-
Lagoon though.
Sure. I've been in the mood of watching it, but I want to like watch new things. So that's why I watched How to Blow Up a Pipeline, and then
Yeah. You
Do
told
the
me
Right
about
Thing yesterday.
Yes.
How to Blow Up a Pipeline was also a very good film. I think I don't think it's kind of controversial in that like not a lot of people think it's a good film. I thought it was a good film. I think the ending it's about eco-terrorism.
Yeah, I saw it. So I don't.
Yeah.
I really don't want to. I'm really interested in that kind of.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out. It's just like one line in it where they say this is an act of self-defense. It really fucking hits. I really love that.
We've been going on for 2 hours.
Yeah.
God damn.
That's surprising because I didn't, we actually talked this time.
Yeah, we
because
actually
like
talked quite a bit.
it's been a
Last
long
time we just played
since
Guilty Gear. Yeah. It just shows that sometimes we do have a
It
lot
just
to talk
shows that
about.
the purposes of the pale are eternal.
It shows that the purposes of the pale were the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
To think of a funny thing to say right now, be funny. I'm putting a gun in your face.
Okay. So we'll end this video off. It's time for us to lagoon.
Okay, we're
It's the
lagooning off the
time to-
planet.
Yes, we're
The time to
lagooning.
lagoon.
Happy lagooning, everybody.
Alright.
We'll see you next episode, whenever that comes out.
Have a Riz-tastic Ohio. Bye bye.
Bye.